another coaching session from leadershipmentor.com. In our time together last week, I shared with you some ideas about one of the 6 basic human needs, and we tied that into how we can effectively motivate and develop a team. We talked about significance. And I think in significance, what we wanted to do is we wanted to tie specifically how does an individual on your team contribute to the bigger cause or effort and success of the team and to the organization. So when we can clearly tie that in, as an individual contributor, we feel a level of significance. That is one of the basic human needs that we have. And so this week I wanted to share with you, this is one of the versions that are out there as far as basic human needs. I really like looking at this and developing ideas on how is it we can really develop individuals and teams by focusing on these basic human needs. And it's funny how these exist inside the workplace really the same way they do outside of the workplace. And this week I wanted to talk just briefly about certainty versus variety. It's interesting that when you look at these two, on the surface you would assume that it's really hard to do both, right? You can either provide certainty or you can provide variety, but how do you do both? So it becomes somewhat of a tug of war in what you try to do. And I think by first defining each one of them and then going back and talking about how that looks into an individual is helpful. So for certainty, I think certainty is financial security. So people certainly come to work and they have a job because of the paycheck. So it provides financial security in terms of a weekly paycheck or even a 401k, a retirement plan. So that's one of the needs that is filled. There's also positional security. So we need to do things to help team members feel like they're secure in their position. That's the importance of constant feedback and making sure that they understand what's expected of them, where they stand. Familiar tasks is really another way to look at certainty. But we also have a need for routine. And so when we look at familiar tasks, once we're familiar with the job that we do, then that also fills a need that we have for certainty in the sense that it develops a routine. So the other side of this tug of war is variety. And in variety, I think the most common thing we look at is how can we learn new tasks? Learning new tasks is something that helps us to grow as individuals, and we feel like that growth is filling a need, really that need of variety. We can also do that in another way where you look at variable work hours, for example. So some people thrive under change, and I think the important part about variety and looking at really at all of our human needs is the importance of our communication plan. As we've mentioned so many times before, we need to look at individual team members one at a time and say, what is it that you specifically need to feel confident that your job is secure, that we're filling your needs in those areas? And then also, when it comes to variety, what are you comfortable with? What is it that you're looking for that would help you to feel significance and to fill that need of variety? And so you have to go through in your coaching process, identifying those things that your team members really need. So that's really it this week. I'm going to continue to talk about our human needs in future coaching sessions because I think it's a really neat way for us to develop a blueprint for motivation and team building. So that is it this week. If you like this information, please share it with somebody. You can like us on Facebook as well. And I hope you have a great week.